On this episode of Quantum Week, October 27th through November 2nd, 2002. Quantum Week. Quantum Week. Hola, senors and senoritos. This is Matt. I'm with Briggs. This is Quantum Week. It's a show where Briggs and I leap into a random week of a random year and talk about the hit movie, hit song, headlines, that sort of thing. I always hate it, Briggs, when I have to span the month, when I have to say
Yeah, it makes it hard. Yeah.
and then I stumble all over the place and look like
Yep.
a goof.
I think it's fine.
I think
People
I
get
said
it.
senoritos too instead of senoritas. Like
It does, yeah.
I was trying to
I think
with
so.
Spanish, but
Senoritos is the new breakfast cereal.
it kind of sounds like that,
Yeah.
or kind of like a cross between a Tostito and a
Right.
Walmart.
Yeah. Sure.
So whatever. I just
It's a
goofed the whole
snack
thing
of
up.
some sort.
It is
Yeah.
a snack. Yeah. So we are talking about, as I mentioned, 2002, late 2002 in the fall. Punch Drunk Love is the movie, and Work It by Missy Elliott is the song.
Yeah.
Every time I hit like the randomizer to get us,
Yep.
because I am using the randomizer to get these dates.
Sure. Of course.
Might hit it a couple times, but I'm using it, and but I feel like we keep clustering around the same every time period.
Yeah.
I hit, it feels like we've kind of been there a little bit.
Right.
But
there's early 2000s has been a common one, huh?
it's been a thing, which
Yeah.
is okay because we get to watch some of the movies that I don't love it as much for the music, but there's some really good movies around this time.
For sure. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. This is kind of in a dead zone
Kind of dead
of,
zone
of
music.
popular music. I don't know. I mean, we can talk more about this when we get to Work It, but Work It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. But I was psyched to cover Punch Drunk Love, and like we wouldn't
Yeah.
really have much of an opportunity to do it because it's not like it did really well in the box office. Like this is
It's
probably the best week that it had, which was I think number 7 in the box
Yikes.
office. Right?
It's a noted box office bomb, right? It lost money.
It lost money.
Cost about 25 million, and I think it brought in 24 something worldwide.
Yeah.
It was like 17 million domestic,
Right.
which I can see why.
Oh,
You know,
God, yeah.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like, this is kind of Adam Sandler's first departure from like the Happy Gilmore, you know, shtick that he's known for.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly right. And so if friends told you, I remember exactly because I saw this in the theater, and I remember how I remember Paul Verschure and our buddy
Oh yeah,
explained it to me beforehand. He said it's like if Adam Sandler, how he is in all his movies, was actually in a real life situation, and it was to the extreme, and no one would think he's funny because it doesn't make sense besides like the fantasy land of Adam Sandler world movies, you know?
sure.
And I'm like, okay. And so I would imagine anybody who liked Adam Sandler at the time. This is not too long after Saturday Night Live, and he had a few bigger movies, right? He had Billy Madison, a couple others by this point. So you go to see a Adam Sandler movie, you're not going to expect this. You're not expecting this. You go to see it, you're probably going to be disappointed, and you're probably going to tell your friends, "Don't go see that goddamn movie. That movie's a piece of crap." You know?
Oh yeah, this is all about expectations. If you go into this movie with any expectations, you're probably not going to like it. Yeah,
right.
Because I mean, Adam Sandler. That being said, is excellent in this movie.
He is phenomenal in this movie. And it's it's really the first time that you see his talent show through.
For sure. Outside of comedy, like he's hilarious. I mean, you know, for people of a certain age, I mean, Adam Sandler is one of the guys, you know.
He is.
Just on SNL, his comedy albums were huge when that was a thing. His movies, of course, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore were both massive movies.
They were. And I really liked I think Happy Gilmore is probably my favorite of those. But big. I mean, I remember taking girlfriends to seeing his movies in high school, etc. But if you're expecting that kind of movie, and you're going to be severely disappointed unless you have a really open mind. You're severely disappointed when you see it,
and probably confused too. I mean, this is an odd movie.
It's an odd movie. I wasn't though. I guess because I'm glad Paul said something. Although I also loved Paul Thomas Anderson at the time, so I was psyched to see his next movie because I saw Magnolia and loved it. Loved that movie so much. And so I was psyched to see it. And then with Paul's like help in terms of expectations, because I was also like, Adam Sandler's in a Paul Thomas
Right.
Anderson movie. I saw Boogie Nights and I saw,
It was a
that
tough
going.
pill to swallow. Yeah.
Tough pill to swallow, but I'm like, but okay, all right. And then I loved it. I went and saw it in the theater and I loved it. And I still love it to this day. I love this movie. I think this movie
Yeah.
is phenomenal. And I'm so glad we get to cover it. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my history with it. But did you see it when it came out?
Yeah. I saw it back in the day. I didn't love it like you loved it, but I definitely appreciated it and enjoyed it. And I was glad to rewatch it because I think different perspective watching something 20 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's great. There's a lot of stuff I didn't pick up on, I think. And just like, there's a lot of, it's a pretty intricately made movie and has a lot of references to different aspects of culture.
Yep.
And the music is just really great, which is no
Awesome.
big surprise coming from John Bryan, who is
he's great.
the
Excellent.
man. Yeah. He's always excellent.
It's sad because you're like, oh man, why didn't he continue using, John Bryan? But then you realize he then started using Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah. Sure.
Like,
also
okay,
great.
Well, all right. I get it. Yeah, but John Bryan does a great job here. Yeah, he was a touring member of like later time period till Tuesday with Amy Mann. And
yeah,
a great musician in his own right, but he knocked this score out of the park. It's so cool. And it's the first thing you're really, I'm glad we're talking about this right away, because it's the first thing you're really confronted with. You got this almost like the visual images in the beginning, right? With all like the color palettes, and it feels very 50s and almost like I Dream of Jeannie. It's very like fantasy-ish, and then the music just hits you right away. This kind of old timey. I don't know. I don't even really know how to describe it, but besides like 50s and 60s, like 60s.
Yeah, it's
TV.
that kind of Technicolor sort of vibe.
Yeah. So you're hit with that right away, and it just puts you in a place, this fantasy place, which is amazing because it's comforting in some ways, but it also gets really fragmented and harsh in some spots too. So it kind of messes with your reality a little bit.
I found very little of this movie comforting. It's pretty anxiety inducing for most of it. I mean, it's funny, but it's a comedy. I didn't laugh. I mean, the music is good. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. You know what? Like, because there's something very familiar and homey about it, and wholesome about it. But then, the way that it sort of twists around, it gets intense. But yeah, sorry, continue.
I mean, the movie gave me a lot of anxiety, which I think it was really great. It was a really great depiction of a socially anxious person, Adam Sandler, who has a lot of unsolved issues to deal with.
Absolutely. You said you noticed some things this time around, as did I. Like, there was things that I think this is a better older person's movie than a younger person's movie. Yeah, for sure. When this came out, 2002, what am I, 24 years old, or 23, 24 years old or something. And you get some of the things, but you kind of have to have, like, at that age, even if you've had some damage growing up from, say, family, weird family situations, like this is, like, certainly weird family situations here. I don't know that it manifests itself. I don't know that it sticks there. You're still malleable at that point in your early 20s. I don't know if it really sticks there, or you notice it sticking there, those problems, until you're older, until you're like maybe a decade, into your 30s or 40s, maybe.
When you're younger, you don't have the benefit of perspective that you get as you get older too. So
that's right.
The reflection is helpful.
So I think that watching this as an older person, it's easier to see, like, it's easier to kind of peel back the onion and see all the layers here. So I definitely found some other layers that I did not see when when I first watched it. Okay, so I guess, so overall, your thoughts. So this is an A movie. I love this movie. Yeah. One of his best, a super underrated movie, I think, too. But what do you feel about it in terms of?
I mean, I got to give it an A too, just from like it was really good craftsmanship. Everything, the way the music worked was so good. The performances were great. All the acting was great. I liked how he used a lot of non-actors as the non-primary cast, which was pretty cool. Right? Yeah, all but one, right? What's her name? Marilyn Rice Cup. She was really good in this. Louise Guzman. She was the sister who was friends with the Emily
Lena.
Watson character.
Right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, no,
she shows up. Marilyn Rice Cup shows up in tons of stuff. She was on like Mr. Show. She's a stand-up. She's like in tons of TV and movies as a small part.
This is
one of the best I've ever seen her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
she's phenomenal here. Yeah.
yes.
They all are. The entire cast is the thing that I really appreciate about Paul Thomas Anderson is he'll do the giant epic, large cast ensemble movies. And it'll
Yep.
it'll have like There Will Be Blood or Magnolia. It just feels
Sure.
so big. Even though
Even Boogie
Magnolia,
Nights, you know?
Boogie Nights,
Yeah.
exactly. But then he'll do small movies like this, where it's a character study. I mean, all of them have character studies. Like There Will Be Blood too, but it's just a bigger
Right.
scope. But you really get to know this character. You really get to know a
Yeah.
very small group of characters. I love that he can do that. He has that range. One of my
He
other favorite movies by him is called Phantom Thread, and it's a later movie.
Okay.
It's from 2017, and it's Daniel Day-Lewis again as a what's a seamster? I don't know. Is
it
he
Taylor or I haven't
he's
seen it. I don't know.
he designs and tailors clothes like
Okay.
for the uber wealthy, and he's like super conceited. It is it's a quiet movie again, like this one, quiet by just a smaller movie.
I see.
And it is awesome. I love that movie too, more so than even his other bigger movies. But that's what I really appreciate with him is he can change his style
Right.
and change the scope of his filmmaking, and the craft is still great. But anyway, so continue. You were talking about.
I was just gonna say, I mean, that was kind of a conscious decision by him as well.
Yeah.
After doing the, Magnolia, which is a huge production, he wanted to challenge himself within the romantic comedy format. He self-consciously wanted to make a 90-minute movie starring Adam Sandler.
He did, which is crazy.
It's so weird. He didn't know Adam Sandler. He got Adam Sandler's phone number from Tom Cruise, apparently, who had met Adam Sandler on SNL or whatever.
Right.
And Sandler didn't know P.T. Anderson. The guy cold called him and was like, "Hey man, I want to write a movie about you." And he was like, he wasn't familiar with his work, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, dude, do whatever." And then P.T. Anderson brought the script to him, like hand delivered it over to him, and then they went for it. But
I love that Adam Sandler too. Like he saw Magnolia and he's like, "Oh,
he's
shit,
like, "Oh fuck, what did I get into?
I can't lead one of these movies. Are you crazy?"
Right.
He was petrified. This is what I wonder if you saw this. This is what Paul Thomas Anderson said. He said, "I saw this Best of Adam Sandler DVD from Saturday Night Live, and an amazing thing happened. There's this moment when he's doing this talk show called The Denise Show about his ex-girlfriend who happens to be Shannon Doherty. I watched this today and I remembered it.
Okay. Oh, I remember this skit. Yeah.
Yeah, and his father, who's Phil Hartman, calls up and says, "What are you doing? You're embarrassing the family." And Adam goes into this fit of rage, screaming at his father. And honest to God, I saw this moment where it appears as if the whites of his eyes turn black and they roll back in his head. It was like he just lost his mind. I would play it back over and over again, and you can see him kind of snap back to reality. The audience is laughing, and it's almost like he finally started to hear them laughing a few seconds later, end quote. I remembered that skit too when I read that today, and so I rewatched it, and it is an amazing scene because it starts where Adam's. It's like his exact character. He's always kind of kind and like calm and like soft, right? And even he starts that way with his dad, who just keeps keeps berating him, and then he just goes off. And his eyes he gets squinty, so I think that's why. But his eyes actually do look black. It's crazy, and he just goes into this crazy fit of rage. It's really awesome. And then you understand, like when you see that, I see what Paul Thomas Anderson saw. It's like you watch that and you're like, oh no, this dude has this incredible range of emotion that he can portray. Gonna do a movie for him.
Right. And he did a great job. I mean, the scenes where he's freaking out are pretty intense.
Yeah, he's so good. He's angry, he's sad, he's desperate. He's also so gentle and kind. And optimistic in a way about his plunger business, like a ridiculous plunger business. Optimistic. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty well for where I'm at.
For a start.
Just nuts. No, he's brilliant. And I know like Ebert, there were definitely critics who called that out. I think it was just so unbelievable at the time.
Yeah.
You know, that he got I think got nominated for a Golden Globe, which is sort of they have the permission to do that, the Golden Globes, because they have a best actor in specific genres in a musical or comedy. And so they can kind of get away with it. But I think that the Oscars really screwed this one up. And even though Daniel Day-Lewis won, did Daniel Day-Lewis win for this one? I'll have to look who it was. shoot, I know. I was just thinking about this. I have the link to the Oscars. Who won? And I was okay. Oh no, it was Gangs of New York. So yes, I was totally fine with Daniel Day-Lewis winning for Gangs of New York.
Okay.
But Adam Sandler not being nominated was a real big. Well, I thought was like a big bummer. Let's see who this is. Actually, I just want to make sure I got all these right. Yeah. No. This is all a lie. So Adrian Brody wins Best Actor for The Pianist. Now, I remember that being a really good movie. It's a tough movie, but a really good movie. It's not the type of movie that you watch like a second or third time. It's
Okay.
like Schindler's List. I don't think I ever need to see that movie again.
Right.
Like it's rough. And I remember Adrian Brody doing really well. I think he's one of the youngest actors to win a Best Actor at the
Okay.
Oscars because of this. So he was really good. But then you got Nicolas Cage in Adaptation, which is okay.
Yeah.
Michael Caine in The Quiet American. Don't remember that. I like Michael Caine a lot, but don't remember that. Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
is nominated for Gangs of New York. He probably should have won. He was phenomenal here. And then Jack Nicholson in About Schmidt. That's actually a sneaky good movie, and he's pretty good in it. But Adam Sandler, I think, does better.
He could have been on this list. I mean, he could have replaced Nicolas Cage.
Absolutely.
Adaptation was a good movie, but Nicolas Cage wasn't like
all
a
right.
standout, you know?
I love Nick Cage, and like for Moonstruck,
Yeah.
Nick Cage is like I love that movie, and he's great in it, and should have gotten an Oscar nomination there. And I'm a Nick Cage guy, but
Yeah, I like Nick Cage.
you know.
But I mean, Adam Sandler in Punch Drunk Love was really, I mean, worthy of the nomination, I feel like.
And I just think that probably they weren't ready to give him that. It's kind, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
no one expected it, right? I mean, it was a surprise to all.
But it did so well in the festivals. I think it won.
Yeah.
At Cannes and
he got Best Director. It was nominated for the Palme d'Or, but it didn't win.
Okay, right. So got a lot of accolades in the festival. So you think, you think that kind of gives you permission to give someone like Adam Sandler an Oscar nomination.
Maybe, I mean, if they weren't ready though to give the, the Price is Wrong bitch guy, you know, you know what I mean? Like it's just so he's so well known as a ridiculous comedic guy, almost like slapstick, really. A lot of times. I don't think people were ready to take him seriously, which is a shame because he was so good in this.
It's a shame because he's great in this. And then, I think he got a lot more praise when we get to Uncut Gems, whatever, 20 years later.
Sure,
and he's,
right.
He's great in it. And he's done some other roles that were really, he was in this movie after that. He's a coach. He's really good in it too. He's really good. And I can't remember that. I can't pull the name offhand, but he's a really good actor, just all around. He can just handle these roles. So I don't think he got any. I don't think he got. Did he get nominated for Uncut? I'd have to look, but I don't know that he's gotten any Academy Award nominations. But he deserved it here, and probably for Uncut
agreed
Gems as well. So kind of a bummer. So there's so much in this movie, so much. So what did you notice? Like, what was there? Did you notice some subtext that you didn't notice before? Like, what
there was? I mean, I just after reading about it, also like I didn't get that the suit that he's wearing is a reference to old films and like in some of her wardrobe also, like that kind of stuff. There's pretty strong use of color in this film. There's some weird conspiracy theory about how Adam Sandler's character is actually Superman. I didn't go down the rabbit hole on this, but there's and they talk about all like the blue and red color scheme throughout the thing.
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
There's the one scene where he actually flies. He does the Superman dive out the window when those guys are chasing him. And it's totally weird, right? Like it doesn't make any sense. That whole sequence is pretty absurd. I don't know. He did like
it didn't look like, but we don't
forward
see it.
roll or something. No, you don't.
All of a sudden, he died. You see him dive, and then you see him run.
He dives further than a normal person could dive like that. He looks like he's flying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't go down. I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole of the Superman conspiracy theory, but that's one of the conspiracy theories about this movie is that he's literally playing Superman.
I have to think about that one because what other connections? Definitely the red and blue thing was really big. I mean that just stands out. He wears the exact same costume the entire time.
Yep,
it's the same suit the entire time. I don't think
exactly
anything else, right?
So, there's one scene where when they're in the hotel in Hawaii, when he's got like a robe, like a hotel robe on, like a white robe. But other than that, it's the suit the whole time.
It's a suit the whole time. Maybe he is Superman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
because you would think like Superman would have to be so gentle all the time, because if he ever just a little bit more he would just destroy, he would turn you into powder, right?
right. And
And
that
Sandler's
there
doing
so
that.
that one of the things they were saying is that towards the beginning, where so his small business is to sell like novelty plungers and other bullshit,
That's
right?
ridiculous.
And so he's trying to demonstrate to a potential customer that these are unbreakable, and he whacks it against the counter and the thing just shatters.
Shatters.
Superman would shatter an unbreakable plunger. Maybe they were unbreakable. I don't know.
I don't
Uh,
know. I wonder. I mean, I don't.
yeah.
I probably not. I don't think. I guess I'm doubtful that Paul Thomas Anderson would do that. That's what he was saying. But I think it more had to do
Hmm.
with the rage. Like I got a lot of thoughts on
Yeah.
the rage, and
Okay.
also his
So
siblings. But go ahead.
yeah, just to finish up this Superman
Yeah.
thing, that people reference the suit that he wears the whole time. His
Yeah.
kryptonite are the seven sisters that take away
Yeah.
all of his strength. The super strength when he beats the hell out of people, and he's got the plunger that I was talking about. His love interest has the initials LL, similar. So her name is Lena
Lois Lane.
Leonard, similar to Lois Lane.
I mean, maybe.
Um, the part where he flies through the air. Um, there's a supervillain, which is the
Yeah, which is
which is the
Philip
Philip
Seymour,
Seymour Hoffman.
who's awesome too.
Yeah, I mean, big surprise
I
there.
know.
That guy plays sleazy and menacing so well,
No one better. No
for
one
sure.
better. Oh man, that confrontation was so
It's
good,
so
so satisfying.
yeah. Philip Seymour Hoffman's only in the movie for maybe 10 minutes, less than 10
Less
minutes,
5,
couple
yeah,
scenes, 2, 3 scenes, but he's so
yeah.
memorable and good.
He's so memorable, and like he could be nominated too, but it's just not enough
It's
time.
too
Not enough
small.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but he's just phenomenal, and how
Yep.
he backs down. It's just so satisfying at
Yeah.
that point, because you can't help, even though you see the violence inside him, you can't help but identify with Barry, or I can't. Like I want him. I
Yeah.
want him to win. Like I want him to win and to not get picked on. Like I want I
Right.
want to help the guy out. And so for him to just snap, take care of business, go and see Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Yeah.
basically
It
just
makes sense.
sternly say we're done. Like say, what does he
Yeah.
say? Like
Let's
say
see. That's
that's
that,
it.
I
That's
think. Yeah.
that.
That's
That's
that.
that.
Does he say like,
Like
that's
get
that
out.
mattress man or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah. It's so that whole scene is so satisfying. You
Yeah.
just
It's
get,
good.
he just keeps getting wrecked by the world. And
And what the hell is going on at that mattress store? There's like a
oh
band
my,
practicing in there.
and a
There's the phone
porn.
sex line and all whatever else, and then whatever other sketchy businesses he's
The
got
guy's
going
into
on.
everything. Into
Yeah.
everything. It's
Mhm.
right. With the phone sex operator cutting his hair. Maybe he's got a salon in there too. It's
Yeah,
everything.
exactly. Who knows, right?
It's a whole one-stop shop.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. I guess I didn't run into the Superman. That's an interesting one. I do think. I wonder if he's just. I wonder if he's just saying the dude has power inside him. The dude is like.
Maybe. I mean, it sounds like an internet,
Yeah.
retroactive kind of thing, that the internet loves to do. Make up some dumb conspiracy. I think you're right. Like I doubt that Paul Thomas Anderson was thinking about Superman. Maybe he
Maybe he
was. I don't
was.
know.
Maybe he was
Who
just like
knows?
this secret power that he has.
Yeah, I guess
Which
so.
is what happens. And so that's like that. And the rage is the rage. Okay, so the rage
Yeah,
fits into this to me.
for
It's
sure.
like, so like I think it's like if you're a dude and you have that type of family history,
Yeah.
you must be worried. If you have rage inside of you, you must be constantly worried. I think as a man anyway, like we have testosterone, there's an aggressive nature to us. It's just the way
Sure.
we are, how we're made chemically. And so you like, I know I think about it too. It's like, I know that there's like a secret, well, not secret, but there is rage inside of me. And
Yeah.
if you let it get out, you're like, if you're a sensitive person and you're a compassionate person, you're worried that it's going to hurt someone sometime. I
Sure.
think that's like the nature of being a dude. You kind
Yeah.
of have
It's
that.
part of it, right?
Part of it, right? And it makes sense. It's like testosterone. You have to protect the family, like all this to protect the kids, protect the family. Like we were built this way for a reason. And so for Adam Sandler, who, okay, and so then you have to, but you have it in you, and it's gonna come out in certain contexts, like because there's confrontation in life. There is, like, we have moments where there's disagreements or
Sure.
confrontation, and if you are able to channel that energy, that aggressive energy that you have in a productive way, if you learn how to do that, then the aggression can actually be very like can be very productive. It can actually help get things done, help get things resolved, etc. Or to make sure that certain things go the right way. So it
Sure.
is it's a very helpful thing. But if you don't know how to have confrontation, and he doesn't because he's beat on by his siblings,
Yeah.
and we'll get to that too because it's really crazy how this is displayed. But he's beat on. So then it comes out in very unproductive ways, which
Sure.
it's him throwing a hammer through the window, him
Yeah.
just randomly going and busting through
Tearing
glass
up a
doors,
bathroom.
tearing
Yeah.
up the
Kicking
bathroom.
out the windows. Yeah.
So he must be in constant state of terror his entire life, knowing what's inside him. Like he even says, like I'm a good man. Like I'm a good
Yeah.
man. Like he believes that about himself, but he also knows what he's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So and like okay, and then you compare it to other Adam Sandler movies where there's also aggression there. Like
He always has that rage. It's, I mean, that's
he
kind
does.
of, he used it almost as a gimmick early on, right? Where
Yes.
he would, like you were saying, he'd be kind of cutesy or soft spoken, and then he
Yeah.
would work himself
Oh,
up into a frenzy.
yeah. So in his comedic movies, that aggressiveness, that anger, that force, that destruction is used for comedy.
Sure.
But in this movie, it's not. It's like lethal and it's scary actually,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning. Before it's used for good. In the end, like it's scary. It's a scary part of his character. So I love that Paul, like that Anderson like catches that about
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, and when he wrote this, it's like wrote it in, but it turned it on its head. It's like, no, this
Yeah.
isn't funny. Like this is
But it
this
was
is
very effective. Like he used it to
super
great
effective.
effect. Like the scene where when he's at the sister's birthday party and he kicks out the windows
Yeah,
just seemingly out of nowhere, but you can tell by
yeah,
what's going on. This is years of pent up rage of them just needling him incessantly.
yeah. Let's talk about his siblings next.
Okay.
So this is where I really caught something different than the first
Hmm.
time. And you tell me what you think, but I think it's archetypes that that Anderson is trying to show us, and it's the the dichotomies. It's the devouring mother and like the destructive father figure. Those two archetypes.
Okay.
So if he showed us, if he wanted to show us like the interplay within because you see that play out in him, but you see it external too with his sisters, and
Hmm.
the counter of that is the four brothers that come and attack him. They're
Right.
those seven sisters of the devouring mother. Those four are the destructive patriarch figure, and and
Okay.
that is playing out inside him too with like the destructive force with the gentleness. Well, Anderson could have showed us that with just parents, with a parent figure, with a mom figure who was that archetype, and a
Sure.
dad that was that archetype. But instead, we don't see his parents at all. Instead, it's represented in it's like much more it's much larger because it's in a group of people that are all sort of attacking him. So the devouring mother. So think about this: you get the seven sisters, right?
Yeah.
They're psychologically and emotionally manipulative. They're possessive, overbearing, dominant, suffocating, and they just dominate him, right? And it just eats him
Yeah.
alive. That's the typical. And then on the other side is the aggressive patriarch, like the annihilation, the destroy. They come, they beat him up. He acquiesces, gives them money, and they still beat him up.
Right. Right.
And so Anderson could have shown that in like a family structure with two parents,
Sure.
but it wouldn't have had anywhere near the same effect
No.
that it had with the four brothers and the seven sisters sort of tandem.
Yeah.
And I just loved how he did that. It's just like we see it external and we see it internal at the same time with him. So
Yeah. Well said. I mean, that's right on. I mean, it's so overwhelming. Both of them, right? I mean, if four people come attack you versus one, or seven people are attacking you, you got to get that hammer and smash the windows out.
you got
Yeah. The just the wall of energy when he walks into the party with the sisters all going. It was so well done, as like it just instantly stressed me out.
And with the phone calls too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
totally.
like he's trying to make a sale, and they keep calling him,
Yep,
and he
yep.
keeps picking up. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing?
Well, he has to. They're gonna keep keep after him until he picks up.
It's like Cameron. It's like Ferris Bueller, right? He'll just keep Cameron talking about Ferris Bueller. He'll just keep calling me
Right.
and call.
Uh-huh.
It's the
For
same thing.
sure.
No, he won't. They won't shut up ever. So he
Yeah.
confronts the brothers physically
Yes.
and puts them in their place, which is that's a great scene.
Well,
And
because
cathartic.
he finally realizes or comes upon an outlet for his rage, right? They hurt his girlfriend.
Oh
So
yeah.
now he has a direction for it, rather than internal.
Yeah, and that's what it's another reason why this movie touches me so much is because what he finds is someone to love who's going to love him back, who he can 100% be loyal to. You can tell he's a loyal guy. Like he
Sure.
can be loyal to someone, but act to someone who actually treats him kindly, accepts him for who he is, and loves him. And so then that clicks him in. His rage is
Right.
then used for the productive behavior, which is to defend the family.
Sure.
And that's it. And I hope, I mean, my if I can project him a decade down the line, 20 years down the line, I think this fixes him. I think this puts him in puts puts his like skills, his rage to good use. And I have hope for him.
Yeah.
But does he confront the sisters in the same way? There's the phone call when he's at
When he's in
um
Hawaii and he's screaming at the Marilyn Rice Cub character, and he's like, "I'll fucking kill you. Give me the fucking number. I'm sick of this shit." He's starting to lose it there too. So I think that is, I mean, he doesn't usually fight back.
right.
And that time he definitely wanted to get the info he wanted by screaming at her. It's a pretty, I mean, it makes sense that he loses it.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I how crazy how crazy the siblings are. Because that sister is friends with Lena, and
yeah.
imagine being Lena and accepting her as a friend. She's crazy. She's such a
Yeah, I
lunatic
mean,
when she talks to him. Or
the Lena character didn't make any sense to me. Like, why does she like Adam Sandler? It makes no
yeah,
sense. You just have to go with it.
you
There's
do.
zero reason that this lady would see a picture of him and be like, "That guy looks interesting. I'm gonna go bring my car to get worked on at this place to try to meet him organically." But then that doesn't work out good. So I'm gonna, get in through the sister. Like, why is she so into Adam Sandler? And then when she meets him and he's a hot fucking mess,
Hot
why
mess.
does she like she's all in. She loves it.
Yeah,
So that part was a little tough to swallow. But if you just go with it, she's another archetype too, I guess.
yeah. I think like maybe there's another story that we're not getting. Like we're
Could be.
really focused on. So this is a point in time where we're really focused on Adam Sandler's character. I imagine
Sure.
she's a weird girl. She's had some
Has to be.
relationships. She
Yeah.
had a divorce, and maybe she talks about the picture a couple times. There's a picture with, and we never see it, I don't think, but there's a picture
Right.
with him and his seven sisters, and I wonder if they mention it a couple times, or she mentioned
Yeah.
it a couple times, and I wonder if that really had an effect on her. Like, oh, because he's probably Adam Sandler in that is probably looking pretty sheepish and
Right.
and dominated. And I wonder if she's just like, this guy seems like like safe. This guy seems like or if
Could
he can
be.
handle seven sisters and
Right.
he's like kind of gentle and meek. Maybe that I don't know. Maybe she had some trauma in her life. I'm making shit up, but like I can see it. She's weird, so you can tell she's
For sure.
weird. So I kind of, checked. I kind of said that's okay because she's weird, but I also think there's a story we're not getting, and
Could be, right? I
you could
mean,
justify it, but they don't really.
as the audience though, you either got to accept it or you don't, right? Like you got to go with it or you're not going to enjoy the movie as much.
And I accept it because I'm like, because it's because I think if though even the worst people, if they can find someone who loves them, who they love back. So I kind of like there's someone for this guy is how I accepted it. There
Okay.
has to be someone for this guy, and okay, I'm just
Mm.
gonna accept that it's her.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I just went with it because I was enjoying the movie. I'm like, didn't want to get bogged down in the fact that the love story aspect of it didn't make much sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is like the weirdest romantic comedy ever made,
It is
right?
super weird. Yeah,
But it is a romantic comedy at the same time,
it
right?
is. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
If you
it's
had
got
to
drama and
put it
whatever, but
in a class of films.
yeah. And his producers didn't get it. They're like, you want to do what? And with
Yeah.
who? Okay. I'm surprised they trusted him. I mean, Hard Eight was the first movie, and I
Mhm.
know I've seen it back in the day, but I don't remember it at all. I should go back because it's got Gwyneth Paltrow, it's got Samuel L.
Okay.
Jackson. There's someone else good in it too. I think it's like a good cast for his first movie. He was at that point, he's like 26 years old when he makes that movie, and you get some,
Huh.
you know, you got Samuel L. Jackson a couple years off of Pulp Fiction to do your wait. When it's Hard Eight, right around the time when was Hard Eight?
Hard Eight
Right.
was 96.
Okay, so that's before Pulp Fiction, but still, you got Samuel L. Jackson. Gwyneth Paltrow is still like she's coming up, but she's not there yet. Who else is in there? It's not like William H. Macy or something. Is it?
John C. Riley.
Oh, of course, John C. Riley. Who's well, he's got yeah, John C. Riley's not big at that time. Okay,
He
so
wasn't
they're
really
less known.
famous then, yeah.
No, not till after Boogie Nights and then
Right.
whatever. But so he does Hard Eight, and it's acclaimed, but it doesn't make money. It loses money. It's a cheaper movie to make. I think it's only a few million to make or something, but still loses money. Does Boogie Nights, which does really well.
Yeah.
As far as I remember, I mean, acclaimed and does very well. Very good movie. Excellent movie.
Yeah, I like Boogie Nights.
Then does Magnolia again? Like it might have broken. If you look at it, it didn't make much money. It's a great movie. I love it. I love that movie. One of my favorites.
Looks like Magnolia made probably about 10 million.
Yeah, maybe
Budget
with marketing costs,
37.
though?
Yeah,
Okay.
budget 37 million, box office 48 and a half.
So I don't even know if it made money because you also, you're pushing
Right.
that because you got Tom Cruise. You had a ton of people in that movie.
Mhm.
Such a good movie. Such a great cast. I got to see that again. I haven't seen it in years. I got to see it again. But
Yeah.
but that doesn't really make money. So it's funny they give him another shot with this. I guess
Boogie Nights made a good amount of money.
what was it?
Budget was only 15 million and box
man.
office was 43 million. So that's decent.
That is decent, but still
It's
you
not
got
huge. Yeah.
yeah, and Magnolia maybe breaks even and Hard Eight loses money. So it's kind of crazy that they let him do this. They must have seen his brilliance as a director because he certainly
Right.
is. And just as like, yeah, we're gonna bet on this guy. I'm just surprised they allowed him to do it, but I guess because it was so inexpensive. Well, it's kind of inexpensive. Did you say it cost 30 million to make? That seems a lot.
25
25
million.
to make.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot for this movie.
It
It's a
does.
small
I know.
movie.
I mean, well, they had that big trip to Hawaii.
What's that?
Yeah, I know, because it really was just kind of shot around LA, right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, right. I mean, there
Just
was
kind of sleazy, shitty parts of LA.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but it's funny that they trusted him to do this. And then he comes back with after this one he goes back to the big and he does There Will Be Blood and
Right.
That now he's super critical. I mean he was always he was critically acclaimed from the beginning anyway, but that
Yeah.
really I think that was the one that solidified him. Which I don't love that movie. I should see it again. I didn't love it. I saw that in the theater too. Couldn't wait to see it.
Wait, which one?
There Will Be Blood.
Oh, that movie is great.
Yeah, So yeah, I didn't love it. I mean, I respect the shit out of it, but I didn't love it. I do need to see it. I saw it a couple times. I tried a couple times because everybody I know loved it. Yeah, I mean, everybody's in your camp, my friend.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but for some reason, I mean, it's good and it's well made, but I just didn't. I think I had a hard time with the. It was hard. He does this a lot, where it's what's funny and what's not.
Okay.
And sometimes in There Will Be Blood, it seemed like comedic moments, but it's too real at the same time. It was really hard for me, I think, emotionally to kind of settle in. But I should see that
Understood.
again sometime.
Might be worth a rewatch.
Well, I need to rewatch a few of them because I didn't love The Master. I didn't love Inherent Vice. But then I loved Phantom Thread. It's a phenomenal movie. And then Licorice Pizza, his newest one, I didn't love that either.
I haven't seen that one.
I should go back. The Master is really critically acclaimed too. I should see that one again and just kind of see if it was just I wasn't in the right place. But
Right.
Anyway, I was surprised they trusted him with this, but they did, and it's a great. It didn't make any money, but it's a great movie. Such a great movie.
Critically acclaimed, though. I mean, I think most people like this movie. I think the people who didn't like it, it just didn't resonate with them for one reason or another, or they were expecting traditional Adam Sandler and they didn't get that.
Trad Sandler. Yeah, more Oscars though. So I think this should have been nominated. This was a tough year because Chicago wins, and it's like, really, like that's not a very good movie, like,
right?
What? Gangs of New York is nominated for Best Picture. Phenomenal movie. Beautifully shot, great cast, like awesome movie. Fine, no problem with that. The Hours, though, I think I saw that. That's Nicole Kidman, but like,
right.
that good. The one I have a real
And
problem with Chicago, I have a problem with, but the one I really have a problem with is Lord of the Rings,
Lord of the
Two
Rings,
Towers.
yeah.
It's
And why
fine.
was it nominated for Best Picture? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's a good movie. It's really enjoyable, epic,
It's enjoyable,
part of the
yeah.
series. Yeah. I don't think
But
it's Best Picture worthy.
Best Picture, like really? And
Seems
then you have
weird.
The Pianist, which I'm fine with
Mhm.
that. I'm fine with that. But Punch Drunk Love should have been in there. So I think that's a snub. And then you look at director Roman Polanski for The Pianist. Okay, fine. Rob Marshall for Chicago. No.
Yeah.
Scorsese for Gangs of New York. Absolutely. Maybe should have
Yep.
won. Stephen Daldry, or yes, Stefan or Stephen Daldry for The Hours. I don't think so. And then Pedro, I don't even,
Almodovar.
Almodovar. Yeah. I don't know. It definitely didn't.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
It's definitely not in the zeitgeist now.
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe it was good, but like a Punch Drunk Love is better than that. Well, I don't know, but I imagine it's better
The
than.
direction was awesome in it. It was really good.
That's the thing. The direction, even the cinematography is amazing
Cinematography was
too.
awesome. Yeah.
Like he would do some fun like tracking. So when he's on the
Yep.
phone with the sex talker, sex
Yes.
worker talker, and he calls up first, and he's in the far right hand side of this or far left hand side of the screen, and then he hangs up, and it pans so that he's in the far right hand side of the screen
Mhm.
as he's waiting for them to call him back. It's like such a cool move. There's all these
Yeah.
cool moves all over the
There's a
place.
lot of cool stuff in this movie. Like there's all these like crazy lens flares that are happening when
Yeah.
the two of them are driving around the city or whatever. And I did really like the I don't know, the interlude of the Jeremy Blake art, the colors that showed
Oh,
up every now and
exactly.
again.
Yeah,
I thought that
beautiful.
was really cool. Yeah. Jeremy
Yeah.
Blake, kind of tragic story, pretty interesting artist, but he ended up he also did the artwork. Do you remember that Beck album, Sea Change?
Of course, I
It's
love
like
that
a
album.
yeah, it's a
I
great
love it.
album, but it has
Yeah.
that picture of Beck with kind of like paint on his face or whatever. I guess
Yeah,
he
that's
did
right.
that and the art direction. But
Oh.
his girlfriend killed herself and then he walked out into the ocean or whatever and killed himself like a week later. It's pretty
Oh,
sad.
man. Oh,
Because
well,
I really liked his stuff. It was
it's
really
beautiful.
cool in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was pretty effective and it gave you kind of a little bit of a break, a little bit of a palate cleanser, allowed you to resonate with maybe some of the music or some of the, take a breather for a minute because it is a pretty intense movie, I feel
Super
like.
intense. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're not comfortable the entire time. You're exactly
Yeah.
right. It's like ugh. Right from the get-go. This is the piano scene too. That's the other one that was like such or not the piano, the
The
harmonium, right?
harmonium.
He's afraid of it. He goes, he sees it in the middle of the street, well, on the side of the road. I don't know
Right.
why that's just like a MacGuffin, right? Van goes by, drops off the
I guess.
harmonium. It's like it doesn't really. Oh, there was a car accident too around that at the
Yeah,
same time.
weird. It seems like weird shit happens on that road, and he's the only one there to witness these things, like that car
Yeah,
accident. Apparently, that harmonium thing was inspired by a real story. John
yeah,
Bryan found a harmonium on the side of the road that was broken, and he fixed it with duct tape, same as Sandler does in the film.
yeah, exactly. But I thought it was cool because that's another like rage point too. So he goes
Right.
and takes it. But how they show it is that the truck goes by at the same time, and you think it gets
Yeah.
destroyed by the truck.
Right.
So
Right.
like right from the get
Or
go,
he's gonna get hit or whatever.
he's gonna get hit.
It's close call
You're
for
like
sure.
on your
Right.
heels right away with this movie,
Mhm.
and that's what it is. It's like explosive moments out
Yeah.
of the blue. When he kicks out the glass
Right.
doors in his sister's place, it's like out of nowhere. You're like, ugh.
There is a
Um,
lot of that juxtaposition where it's a kind of slow, like phone call. This is a great phone movie. Half this movie takes
It
place
is.
with people talking on
And good
the
ones.
landline telephone, old school. But then it's punctuated by something like that, the car accident, or him like
Explodes.
sprinting around everywhere, like he
Oh
runs with
God,
the
yeah,
harmonium. Then
yeah,
he's running around the apartment complex trying to find her apartment.
right. Oh, that was a
He's
beautiful
running
scene.
from those guys
Right.
when he does the Superman dive.
That's right.
It's a weird
I thought
scene.
he was going to go into
Really
like
cool.
a gallop, like a four
Right,
four
right.
foot gallop from there.
Well, that whole scene is really stylized. It almost
Yeah,
seems like like a cartoon. Like
exactly.
it's like a little choppy. Like you can almost see the frames when he's
And the
running, and then
silhouettes.
yeah, exactly. And then he does that crazy dive, and you're like, what the fuck is
What is?
happening?
Does he
Yeah,
turn into a dog? What
right. Yeah,
happened? The Oscar snub that's the worst for me though is Best Original Screenplay. Like that's like
yeah,
screw you
for
guys.
sure. This is
So
a very original movie.
oh my god, yeah. So Talk to Her again. That was nominated. Gangs of New York, whatever with that. Gangs of New York, fine. My Big
Mhm.
Fat Greek Wedding is nominated for Best Original. Like, it's
Mm,
fine. I remember seeing it and being like, haha, like, that's all right.
right.
But, like, really? Like, what? Over Punch Drunk Love makes no
I know.
sense to me. That get super snubs. But I understand. Like, the direct, I don't know, because he just had Magnolia. Like, you'd think they'd be keeping the Oscars,
Right.
the Academy would be keeping their eyes on him, you know? But no.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems weird. Especially for original screenplay seems like it would be a no-brainer to be on there.
No brainer. Yeah, easy one. So let's talk a little bit about Anderson. I think that was the other thing. We talked about the Rage. We talked about the Sisters and Brothers. Let's talk about, Anderson. So I always put 3 directors in the same place in my mind. I bet you could
Okay.
probably guess the other 2. It's Anderson. Who else do you think is same time period coming up? Very very gifted directors. It's kind of same age group. What do
Well,
you
like
think?
Coen Brothers or
No, Coen Brothers are older.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, I love them too. They do phenomenal work. No, okay, so I'll just give it to you so you don't have to
Yeah,
guess.
let me know. Tell me.
Well, Wes Anderson
Yeah,
is the
okay,
other one
sure.
at this time period, right? Because he just does Royal Tenenbaums,
Mhm.
which is another one of my top 10 movies for me. Love it.
Yeah.
And then the third is Nolan, because you got
Right. Oh,
Nolan
okay, sure.
has what's the M movie? What's his first movie? Nolan's Memento. God.
Oh, Memento.
Jeez. Come on, Matt. So of the 3, I think that, probably of the 3, probably P.T. Anderson is most critically acclaimed at this time. Although Wes Anderson's maybe they're neck and neck because he's got Rushmore first, and then
Right.
he's got Royal Tenenbaums. Both great movies. Tenenbaums is off
Yep.
the charts, but Rushmore's a beautiful movie too.
Yeah.
And whereas Nolan's got Memento, and people are like, "Oh my God, this guy does some crazy," because that's a crazy movie to direct.
Right. For sure.
But then look at their comparable careers. Like after this, what happens to Wes Anderson? Like Wes Anderson peaks with Royal Tenenbaums. And then, I mean, Zizou's okay, but
I like that one.
it's good, but it's
Like
not as
Aquatic
nowhere
that
near,
no, it's not. No, agreed.
and
Okay.
even not as good as Rushmore. Like those 2 are
Right.
better by far. I do like The Life Aquatic.
It's a vibe,
It is
It's
vibe.
like a island vibe,
Yeah,
you
but then
know.
after that,
Great music.
not good. It gets
Mm,
bad. It just doesn't get good. I don't like any of his other movies at all. Like I think I just think they're pretentious. And it's like he has his thing. Like he has his cutout home thing where you can see
right.
like
He definitely has a thing that he does, right?
right. So whereas Anderson can do anything, anything like big, small, whatever, and different styles, vibes, whatever. So
They're both Andersons.
yeah, I know. You just caught that
Yeah.
just now.
Well, you said Anderson can do anything.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
sorry. My bad.
I
Paul
know what you meant.
Thomas
You were
Anderson.
talking about PT,
Yeah, yeah.
not W.
Yeah, which is too
Yeah.
bad because I love Tenenbaum so much, and it's just I had
Mhm.
such high expectations after those first few years of maybe Tenenbaums was 99 or 2000, but then
2001,
okay, 2001, and then Rushmore was probably late 90s,
98.
98. Okay, so after those 2 movies, I'm like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Those are great movies, but Paul Thomas Anderson just cleans his clock. Like he's
Yeah.
not even. Most people I think would say that There Will Be Blood was his best. So he hasn't even hit his best movie yet, and he's already done Magnolia,
Right.
Boogie Nights, and
Mhm.
Punch Drunk Love. And then he follows it up later on with, the amazing Phantom Thread. And most people love The Master. That's really critically acclaimed too.
Yep.
I need to see it again. But he's still, he's still got a lot left in the tank. And he's
Right.
young. He started, like I said, his first movie, Heart 8, was 20. He's 27 or something. At this point, he's 31, when he makes this movie. And he's already got 3 great movies under his belt. And Wes Anderson just kind of falls off. And it's like so disappointing.
Yeah.
I think part of it is, that's when Owen Wilson co-wrote, I think, Tenenbaums, and
Oh, okay.
I think it was both Tenenbaums and Rushmore
Rushmore?
with him. But then afterwards, Owen Wilson kind of becomes a movie star,
Right.
to a certain extent, and and whatever with the frat pack guys, and kind of does his own thing. I don't know that he writes with them anymore. And I think that's when the movies start to fall off. So
So you're saying he needed his muse?
you need his muse. Owen Wilson is absolutely a muse. I love that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great.
I'd love to sit down and have a beer with him. Like
Yeah, he's got
he's
maximum
cool.
charisma, that's for sure.
He absolutely really does. Yeah. For
Yeah.
such a kind of a goofy looking guy, he's got great charisma.
He's not bad looking. He's got a fucked up nose.
Yeah. He's a little goofy. He's goofy, but he's got great presence.
Yeah.
And then Nolan, where you got Memento, and then remember we covered Insomnia, which is right
that was
around
2002.
2002, which we thought was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought was good.
It's not amazing, I don't think, but
not as nowhere near, but then so of the three though, Nolan's kind of all three. Like he's critically acclaimed, and he
made the most
office,
money for sure. Yeah,
for sure. And Paul Thomas Anderson deserved to have more people pay tickets to see his films. But for whatever reason, Nolan just has that magic too.
Nolan's
like
the
Spielberg
moneymaker, though.
The moneymaker.
Well, he also, I mean, he was also willing to do these big Hollywood films too, right?
But do them well, like do them awesome. Like
for sure.
The Batman trilogy is the best, superhero trilogy. And Oppenheimer is a phenomenal film, and he would do Interstellar, like all of his movies.
He doesn't really have any turkeys; they're all pretty good to great, right?
No turkeys, and some excellent ones.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, I don't know, in terms of skill, I think that Nolan's more calculating and cold. He absolutely colder. Like you don't get as much character development in his movies as you do in Anderson, but I would put them about equal in terms of their filmmaking quality. Because Nolan does impossible things. You watch Tenet. If you have not seen Tenet, watch Tenet. It's an impossible movie to make, and he pulls it off. It's so amazing what he does. But it's just more more tactical and technical. Whereas Anderson's more like character study.
He's quirky and weird. Anderson is
but both I think probably on the same level in terms of gifted, and just Nolan has way more box office.
6 billion. I looked it up. 6 billion. Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I wonder what Anderson's pulled in. Probably nowhere near that. I would imagine There Will Be Blood was maybe his biggest. I would think.
Right.
I would think that's his biggest movie. So I don't know that he's cracked 1 billion.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not, because Boogie Nights didn't know. I don't know if he's had any that's cracked 100. Maybe There Will Be Blood cracked 100. I don't know, but I imagine he's nowhere near. He's probably under 1 billion. He's probably he's got 7 or 8 movies, I think. So, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, I'm not finding it.
Yeah,
easily.
you can look, but of the three, but Wes Anderson, big disappointment. Paul Thomas Anderson, not a disappointment at all. He's had a great career. I hope he keeps making movies. And then, of course, Nolan kind of becomes the king here, even though it's hard for me to, like, the upside of Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, is better than than Nolan. And, the movie, I think the Anderson movies I love more than the Nolan movies, but not by a lot.
Right.
So, but a phenomenal filmmaker. So, I think like that. I think that's pretty much it that I have for Punch Drunk Love. I imagine, I don't know, have people seen this movie? I know I was so excited to see it because I'd already seen other Paul Thomas Anderson movies,
right.
So I was into it. But I wonder if you're listening to this and you haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, then you got to see it. Like it's
worth watching.
It's worth watching.
I mean, if I feel like it would appeal to lovers of film, because it's a weird movie. If you're looking for a light watch that's funny in a traditional comedic sense, this is not the movie for you, I guess. But it's really worth it. It makes you feel a certain type of way. That's for sure.
I think it's very touching too. I mean, yes, it's kind of excruciating in some parts, but very uncomfortable. You're very uncomfortable for him. But
most of
it's also very touching. Like just if you just think like, you can find love, like you can, and it really changes everything if you do. Like it's just I found it very touching.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say everybody should watch it. So you give it an A. I give it an A.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie, one of his best. And that's it. Should we move on to Work It?
Work It.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive, it's why I need them. It's It's your primitive and when yet. If you got a big, let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work. Yeah, it's your primitive and when yet. It's your primitive and when yet. I like to get to know ya so I can show ya. Put a hurt in ya.
Missy Elliott.
Yep.
I feel like she's had an underwhelming career.
Maybe. Why would you say that? Because I have a rebuttal, but I want to hear what you say first.
Oh, I'd love that. Because I'm like, where did she go? I mean, she had a few years.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know, maybe a 5-year span where she's kind of big, and let's see, and she sold about 40 million albums, which
Yes.
is underwhelming, I think, for her.
But she's supposedly the best-selling female rapper.
That makes no sense to me. No, there's no way. Well, because what do you call Cardi B? What do you call
okay. You know what? Maybe I had some bad. Well, let's see. Oh, best-selling female rapper in Nielsen music history, according to Billboard.
Oh, thanks, Billboard. Why Nielsen?
I don't know what that means. I
maybe
didn't read the full thing.
Like pre-digital, like pre-streaming, maybe.
Let's see.
Like Nicki
Yeah,
Minaj
it's a data company.
Yeah, Nielsen. Yeah. Nicki Minaj must have way outsold her too. Like,
really?
I think
because no one sells albums anymore. You know what I mean?
So maybe that's what it is. But you still a certain amount of streams counts as an album.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Because Nicki Minaj has 100 million records worldwide. Right. So okay.
Yeah.
So that's weird. It's my bad. I don't understand why they say it that way. That was confusing.
It has to be the Nielsen, but I don't. We'd have to define that to kind of figure it out.
Right.
I think. Yeah, I just think it's kind of disappointing because the way that I sort of viewed her at the time was like, oh no, this is legit. Like she's a legit rapper, producer. Like she kind of can do it all, and she does. She does a lot of production for other folks. Like in the decade to follow. Mm-hmm. She did that Holler Back is hers too with Gwen Stefani, right?
Did she write that?
I think that's her. Yeah, and that's a great song. Great song.
Yeah.
And this one's pretty good too. I like this song. It's very innovative. A lot of that's Timberland.
Yeah, totally.
Just his production is really cool. Super sparse. And with the backward thing, like
it's cool.
I mean, it's awesome. Like I can see, it's a little bit of a, I don't know. I could see in some circumstances someone did it would kind of feel like a I don't know, like a cheap,
like a gimmick or
a gimmick, but it doesn't.
It's certainly a gimmick, but it's cool. Like it doesn't matter if it's cool. Like you can get away with it.
Exactly.
Like there's so much stuff that's just cool in this song and the video. Like I feel like Missy Elliott's just cool in general.
She is cool. Yeah, that's why it's disappointing because it's kind of where did she go? I sort of expected her to have a few albums in a row where I would listen, where I would want, like I would be really compelled to listen to them.
Right.
I listened to this album today and I was like, this is pretty good. Like there's some good stuff on here. And I like it, but I at the time I didn't. I'd like to think that if something was really compelling, I would have found out about it then. Especially if it was, because at this time I still know what pop music is.
Right.
I'm still paying attention to pop music, and she was definitely big there for a little bit. So I think that I would, if there was something really compelling, I would have found it and listened to it, and maybe I would have had a couple of her discs, but I just never.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then this album only sold 2 million copies, and this is kind of her.
That
is
a little weird.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel it's underwhelming.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense. She also had to back out of the music industry because of some health issues too.
That's true.
She has Graves' disease, I guess.
Yeah, I saw that. Which happened. It appeared.
That's like
ugly
a thyroid thing. Yeah.
Right, but she had a car accident. I guess after that is when it sort of appeared. And then she was shaky. I don't know all the.
Yeah, she was having like
stuff,
leg spasms or something.
Yeah.
She almost crashed her car because she was having some leg spasms.
Oh, that's what.
Which prompted her to go to the doctor, and then she got diagnosed with the Graves' disease.
I see. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, I know. So there was part of that, and when that was, I think that was diagnosed somewhere in the mid 2000s or something. So I guess that kind of coincides.
2011.
All right, so 2011. So,
but her last album was in 2005.
So then what the hell was she doing between 2005 and 2011?
I don't know. I mean, if you sell 40 million albums, you got some cash, I guess.
That's true, but you know, she's an artist though. I mean, she's not just like a
Right.
like a
That's true.
face, you
Yeah,
know?
she's not just like a pop star hit
Yeah.
maker. No, she is
She's got
definitely
skills.
a lot of artistry.
Right. So I was just kind of like, where, you know, where did you go? Because the production stuff happened afterwards. I think, you know, it wasn't like she was. I think the production stuff mostly happened in the 2010s, kind of when it started.
Yeah.
Maybe with the Hollaback Girl, maybe that was a first foray. I think she produced that. I don't know, but yeah, it's like, what has she been up to? I know she's been on some TV here and there,
Right,
like
but
some
not a
movies,
lot.
but
Like more like guest
like
star kind of
guess,
stuff.
yeah,
Right?
or like Pootie Tang for a minute or something. But
Yeah. Well,
but
Pootie Tang was a long time ago.
right.
Pootie Tang was
So
2001.
yeah, I guess I'm just disappointed because I think she has the talent,
Yeah.
and it could be just that I missed it. I don't know. Like you know, I missed things, but I was looking through even the artists that she collaborated with and did
Mhm.
production for, and even some of those, it's like, these aren't really,
Hmm.
you know. And on this album, you've got some heavy hitters too. You got Jay-Z
Yeah.
on here.
Yep.
So like, what the heck happened? It seems like she could have, okay, she could have had, this is going to sound maybe the wrong way to put it, but it seems like she could have had she could have been what Puffy like wanted to be, which was this rapper, but also would be like a hit maker for other people. I guess he kind of was that, but the music sucked. But she could be like the good version of that, where she's like a really good rapper, talented rapper, but also like a talented producer and like launched a bunch of careers. She could have been the mogul that
I
Puffy
see.
was, you know?
Right. Well, she actually writes the music.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like she's talented. He's a piece of shit.
Right. Well, yeah. Maybe
and
she's
not
just
talented.
not a fucking piece of shit sleazeball either. You know what I mean?
Well, they were friends.
It's easy.
Too,
It's easier to get ahead if you're willing to step on people's heads. You know?
and blackmail them and kill people.
Yeah, and do whatever else. Yeah, with baby oil.
They were friends, and she didn't sign with his record company. She went a different
Smart.
direction. So I know. So I wonder if she saw some things and was like, ugh.
Could be, right? I mean, seems like all that Diddy stuff was going on the whole time.
Whole time. I mean, in full view. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, art and entertainment industry for, calling out the bad guys and squashing them. Thanks, guys. But I wonder if she saw it and like was just like, no way, I'm not doing this.
Right.
I hope, well, I don't know.
Well, she worked with 50 Cent a little bit, and he was very anti-Diddy,
That's
so
true.
maybe,
That's true. Yeah. So maybe there was a common cause there.
Right.
I don't know. They knew, these bastards knew,
As so many people knew.
Yeah. But I think this is a good song. I think it's
cool. Great. I really like it.
It's a very like unique vibe.
The production is awesome. It's got some fun. It's got some cool stuff. I don't know. I don't think that the backwards thing plays like a gimmick. I think it's just awesome.
It's awesome.
And because it's literally that same line played in reverse.
Right.
She says, I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it, and then they just play that backwards. I think that's cool.
And the rhythm's awesome too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the elephant noise is great. I mean, you don't need to call out what she's saying. That's not an edit. You know what I mean? That's not for the edited version. Yeah. That's how the song is, which I think is awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, because you know what's happening. And then the nice Bob James sample at the end of the song, which is the ding 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 ding, like that the bell.
Go-Go Bells. Yeah, that's from Run DMC song.
Yeah, well, they sampled it from Bob James, who's amazing.
Okay.
Bob James is amazing. You should listen to go and get a Spotify list of Bob James. You'll love it. He did the theme from Taxi.
Gotcha.
Amazing music. Just kind of that cool jazz.
So that's what the Peter Piper is sampled from.
Yeah. Bob James. Is it Take Me to the Mardi Gras? I think is the name of the tune that it's sampled from. Because I love that bell part so much. Like that is a sample that sticks in my head forever. Because we did when we covered Naughty by Nature, they use it not in OPP, they in Let the Hose Go.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I just love that sample so much.
It is Take Me to the Mardi Gras.
Who's good?
You're good.
Oh, thanks. I needed that. But some cool samples and some throwback to it. Timbaland's great. Like he definitely. It's just I'd like the sparse production too. It's her voice for the most of it. You don't have a ton of other things happening. There's a lot.
You don't need much. Like she's got an awesome flow. The lyrics are fun and interesting. It's kind of like a reverse take on the male sex song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like she's taking control of it, and it works great. It's awesome. It's a cool song.
she
It was a
worked it.
big hit too.
Big hit.
Yeah, she
Yeah. Number
number two
two, 10 weeks.
for 10 weeks. I saw, yeah, because of "Lose Yourself," the Eminem tune
Oh,
kept her out of the number one spot.
nothing wrong
And
with
now
that.
this is like, there's a bunch of like weird Billboard records, like, or milestones, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
This one is tied for like one of the longest songs that went to number 2 that didn't go to number 1.
Yeah, I'm not
So
surprised.
10 weeks, and it's tied "Waiting for a Girl Like You" by Foreigner.
I wonder, do you know what kept that out? Waiting for a Girl Like You would have been 84, maybe 85?
81.
Oh, that early. So
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, maybe.
Let me see if I can
I wonder
find it
81. I don't
here.
know that it would have been Michael Jackson. That's early. That would have been off the wall.
Mm.
And I'm not sure if any of his hits would have been there for like 10 weeks. It must have been a couple. I wonder what else was big.
It was kept out. Foreigner was kept out by "Physical" by Olivia Newton-John, and "I Can't Go for That," "No Can Do" by Hall &
okay.
Oates.
Nothing wrong with that. Physical,
Mhm.
screw that. But the Hall & Oates every day
Yeah.
of the week. Yeah.
So tied for an obscure record that no one cares about. Longest time at number 2 without hitting number 1.
Yep. Silver medal, perpetual.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that though. "You Lose Yourself" is a phenomenal song, so you can't.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong
totally.
with that. Also won a Grammy. You know,
Yep.
so critically acclaimed, did well. You know, as with record sales too. So yeah, I think it's a good song. I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I just think she has kind of a disappointing career. So 40
Yeah, I
million
agree.
records.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, but I went and did some comparison. Like I wanted
Yeah,
to see
okay.
who else. Shakira, 40 million.
Okay.
Do they seem on par? I guess they seem on par.
Yeah, I guess so.
Feels about right.
I mean,
This
kind of
one-
different genre.
Yeah, I was going just different genres.
Okay.
Just to like see comparable, you know. Jennifer Lopez, 40 million. That seems light, actually.
Whatever. Jennifer
I don't
Lopez.
like Jennifer Lopez either.
Yeah.
I don't mind Jenny from the Block.
Eh.
The rocks that she's got.
She sucks
still-
though. She doesn't
does
sing
suck.
her own songs. She's not a good actress.
No,
She's not a good singer.
she's not. She can dance
Like-
all right.
I mean, yeah, sure. She was great as a fly girl.
Yeah. She messed with Ben Affleck. That's a real big thing.
And Diddy.
Oh, well, I don't mind. Yeah. Enya, 40 million records. See,
That
that's the
makes
thing. It's like
sense.
Enya's like such a
Enya's a
I-
niche thing.
I
though.
hate that, but right, which is like she tied with Missy Elliott. Like Missy Elliott seems way
Right.
bigger, more prominent. So that seems like a weird one. I hate Enya so much. I listen to those songs like they're so bad. Like I like light music or jazz music, of course, but that music, that new age, oh, it's so bad.
You don't even like the Orinoco Flow?
Which
The
one's
Sail Away? That's a Sail Away song.
No, I hate it, dude. Do you? I don't know if you ever met that. Were you around Eaton House when I was living there? Did you hang out in our dorm at all?
Occasionally, not too often.
We had a guy there who had something. I don't know if he was autistic, and he was taking medication, and he was pretty even keeled when like he's a super smart guy, like a brilliant guy, but very quiet, kind of nerdy, and and like. But he loved Enya. He loved Enya so much, and
Weird.
I couldn't understand why. He's such a smart guy. It just like for some reason really resonated. And then I saw him like when we would go on school break. You know, sometimes you're hanging around for a day while people are clearing out. You're the last ones there in the summer, right before the summer break or something. He would like go off his meds before he would go home, and the guy would go
geez.
crazy. He'd put on he just put on weird, crazy, eclectic clothes. Sometimes he'd wear dresses and run around the dorm and makeup. It was crazy. Loved Enya, that guy. 50 Cent, 40 million records worldwide.
That's it? I feel like he would have sold more.
Me too.
Because he was
Notorious
big at the
B.I.G..
time. Yeah, okay.
40 million. I mean, he died. You know, he
Yeah, well, he
killed.
died. We got by Diddy.
He got killed by Diddy, so 40 million seems about
Yeah.
right. And then Puffy also 40 million records worldwide, which
That makes
seems
sense.
about right. But you know, most of that's not him. Ace of
Well,
Base.
he didn't
40
write
million.
any of it. That makes sense. I mean, they had what, 2 or 3 really
I
big
saw
hits.
the signs,
Yep.
and it opened up
All
my
that she
eyes.
wants. All that she wants.
It's
That was
another
another
baby.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
Yeah. Especially for that time. Like that was
Yeah.
well into the album era when everyone was buying CDs or whatever.
Yeah. They're so bad. There's no good Ace of Base song.
No, I don't
Is there?
think so. Not really.
Those things are so big. It's like kind of like the new. They were trying to capitalize on like the new.
Don't
album,
Turn
right?
Around. That was the other one. Those were the big three. All That She Wants, The Sign, and Don't Turn Around.
Trying to think of what "Don't Turn Around" is like.
They all kind of sound the same.
Yeah, so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cheap music. Like to make that so cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty
Put some
cheap.
effort into it.
Right.
Put your back into it. All right. So, anything else with this Missy Elliott situation, or are we?
No,
I think
we're ready to move on.
Any headlines that you found? I got one that's like.
Yeah, I got one. I mean, speaking of Run DMC
there it is.
sample. Yeah, did you find the same one?
It's the
Jam
same
Master
one,
Jay.
I mean,
yeah,
it's the big thing that happened, really.
Jam Master Jay was murdered on October 30, 2002.
Yeah.
Real bummer. It's pretty sad. Do you know the story?
Yeah, but tell it.
Yeah, so he was kind of down on his luck. Like his career was kind of not doing well, and he needed money. He owed a bunch of money to the IRS and some others. So he started selling cocaine.
Yeah.
And got like a 10-kilo order of cocaine, which is worth like $250,000 street value from the trafficker who's known as Uncle. That's
okay.
it. Uncle. So he was supposed to pay Uncle back in like a week, and he didn't pay Uncle.
Oh.
So supposedly Uncle had him taken out.
Oh,
but
man.
it was going back and forth for many years. They didn't get a conviction and whatnot, and the trial kept getting pushed out. So it was this year actually where 2 guys were convicted on murder charges, and then there's a third guy who got implicated, and his trial's not till next year. So this shit's still going on 20-something years later.
Crazy.
Wild.
That is wild. Yeah,
it's
it's
a bummer.
Sad. It is sad because he's so talented.
Yep.
And Run DMC
and iconic.
So important.
Yeah,
and iconic.
for sure.
It's like really there wasn't another way for him to to do.
I mean, maybe it's a quick buck, right? I mean,
yeah.
I guess, but then you still have to launder that money if you're going to pay the IRS. You can't just say, "Here's my coke money," you know.
Please take it. Well, they will take it, but then they won't credit it to you. So
right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
maybe
a
I'm going to
bummer.
blame the IRS. I'm going to blame the IRS for this. They did this.
If he didn't owe them the money, he wouldn't have done the drug deal. So there you go.
Jay's like, he was only like 37 at this time too. It's so sad.
That's rough.
2037. So he would have been, about 60 right now. I'd love a 60-year-old Jay.
Yeah.
So good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's sad. It's tough. Like you hate to see the icons go through stuff like that.
Yeah, especially something so senseless, you know.
Senseless. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I had too. It was
a bummer.
It was the most important thing that kind of happened at that time. I think.
Yep.
Well, in terms of at least entertainment,
and pop culture, for
pop
sure.
Culture. Yeah. But I think that's it. Do you have any other?
I didn't have any other.
Talk about?
Nope.
Before we wrap up. All right. Well, go see Punch Drunk Love if you haven't seen it already. You can get it on Amazon or a couple other streaming software. I was actually worried that we wouldn't be able to see it for some reason. I don't know. I got a little bit of like because sometimes like Cocoon you can't get anywhere right
I bet you can get it.
Maybe you'd have to
maybe not legally.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many streaming sites, just whatever.
None streaming. It's nowhere because it fell in this weird time period. Yes, fell in this weird time period where the licensing didn't make sense.
Huh.
Yeah, so I don't think at least
someone must have uploaded it.
I'm sure
rip of a DVD or whatever.
I'm sure we can find it, but I mean, it's not on a streaming service.
Not a legitimate one.
That's what
I'm talking about the internet streaming.
I know what you mean. And that's fine. What I just mean is
I'm not saying Netflix.
I was worried that we wouldn't be able to find this one. Because who knows? But I don't know. I just had a little bit of.
I'm just gonna say I didn't have trouble finding it.
Great. No, I don't care. do what you need to do. But now find Cocoon.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I guess worst case scenario, we probably don't need to legitimate or illegitimate. We'll be able to find whatever we need to find.
If you want to see a movie, you can see a movie.
Right. Good. That's a good message to end on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks everybody for listening, watching. This has been Quantum Week. Briggs and I will do something. I'm traveling next week,
right.
But I'll be.
Maybe we can get it together.
I'd like to get it together.
Yeah.
but I guess we'll find out.
Yep.
We'll have something soon. So
Yeah.
anyway, thanks everybody. We will all see you later. Goodbye.